Good morning, Shavua Tov V'Gotavach. Thanks for tuning in to Kila Chari Torah's daily review of Maimonides' 613 mitzvahs, the Sefer HaMitzvot for Sunday, December the 19th. We began last week speaking about some of the mitzvot, some of the mitzvahs, commandments, instructions, particularly the prohibitions, because that's where we are, that have to do with the judicial process. Today's first mitzvah, first prohibition, is that a judge is forbidden to receive testimony from a litigant's relative. So if there is one of the parties to the case and the relative has evidence which might affect the court case, nevertheless the judge is forbidden to receive that testimony. There's a verse which you may have found noteworthy in the 24th chapter of Deuteronomy, happens to be verse 16, that says, "The fathers shall not be put to death for the children, nor shall the children be put to death for the fathers." The explanation of which is found in the Sifri, in one of the Midrashim, that says that the testimony of parents should not be used in a case of children, nor should the testimony of children be used in a case that would affect parents. The same law we do apply to monetary cases, and in case one thinks that there's a connection, that there isn't a connection, life or death, of course, but monetary maybe is a different story. So the Torah says they're actually both one and the same. We can't accept testimony from a family member, from karovim, from close relatives who can't help just by the very nature of having an inclination, a bias to the parties to the case. Think about that in connection with the next prohibition number 288 in Maimonides' listing, that says we are forbidden to convict on the testimony of a single witness. We can neither inflict punishment, capital or corporal punishment, on a defendant, or a fine on the testimony of a single witness, even though that witness be perfectly trustworthy. One of those test cases where we say, just like, what do we say before? Well, it's actually part of the laws of testimony of whom we can accept as witnesses. If Moses and Aaron, Moshe and Aaron, would come and testify, we don't accept their testimony because two brothers are not allowed to give testimony. Similarly, if Moshe or Aaron were to come and to present a testimony, in this kind of a case, we would not be allowed to convict a person on that, because no matter how trustworthy we find either of those great leaders of our people, we're still forbidden to inflict a punishment, as we say, or to a punishment, or exact a penalty, a fine, on the testimony of a single witness. There are cases, isurin, certain isurin, forbiddenness. Like if one person tells you that such and such a restaurant which used to be kosher is no longer kosher, that you can believe. Eid echad ne'aman b'isurin, we say that one witness is enough to help us with ascertaining knowledge of prohibitions where we cannot eat, for example, but we don't need to wait for a second witness to tell you that. However, we're talking about a different thing here. We're talking about court cases where a punishment is to be exacted. One witness will not do it. Al pi shnei edim, yakum davar. The case will be sustained with the testimony of two witnesses. That is required. Last mitzvah we'll touch on today: prohibition of killing a human being. We are forbidden to kill one another. The footnote says to kill an innocent person. We're interestingly right in the middle of talking about capital cases, where indeed the Torah does command a beit din to put certain offenders to death. Nevertheless, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about each other, about taking the law into our own hands, as it were, and murdering each other. So obvious prohibition. Nevertheless, it's printed here. It doesn't go without saying. The Rambam says it clear, black and white. Prohibition number 289 for us to pay attention to and take to heart. Have a good day. Join us again tomorrow. Bye-bye.